Imagine a world where every step you take, every decision you make, is meticulously watched. A world where people, with their hidden agendas, try to manipulate you, trying to force you into their molds and standards. They want you to conform, to bend to their expectations, so they can feel safe in their control over you. And when they realize they can no longer control you, when they can no longer mold you to their desires, they turn to one of the most insidious weapons they have: discrediting you. This isn't an obvious attack. No, it's subtle, layered with quiet whispers and false narratives. They will try to twist your choices, undermine your decisions, and make you seem like someone who is too distant, too out of reach, someone who refuses to play by their rules. It's a psychological game, a tactic designed to shake you. The goal is to plant the seed of doubt in your mind, to make you question your worth and your path. The very fact that you are unapologetically yourself, unwilling to be controlled, is what unnerves them. But here's the catch. What they fail to see is that their actions, every sneer, every manipulation, speak volumes more about them than they do about you. It's their insecurity, their inability to control the narrative, that drives them to these lengths. They are projecting their own fears onto you. Now, here's where things get interesting. What if I told you that, instead of crumbling under their attacks, you could rise above them? That the more they try to shake you, the more you can fortify your own strength. This is where the philosophy of Stoicism comes into play. Stoicism isn't just some ancient belief system. It's a practical guide for modern living. Especially when you're facing forces that seek to undermine you, it teaches you the power of resilience, the importance of self-mastery, and how to navigate through life's challenges without losing your center. Stoicism shows us that we have control over very little, except for our own minds. Our emotions, reactions, and thoughts are ours to govern. When people try to manipulate or discredit you, it's not about you. It's about them and their fear of your independence. With Stoic wisdom, you learn not to internalize their attacks. You learn to stand firm, to remain unmoved by their projections. Instead of letting their words define your reality, you let your own actions and integrity speak for themselves. Their attempts to control you will only make you stronger if you embrace your inner power and refuse to bend to their will. This isn't a passive acceptance of abuse. It's a proactive, empowered stance that refuses to give in to the forces that seek to break you. The more you anchor yourself in Stoic principles, the less their words and actions will affect you. You will remain solid, unshakable, and yes, free. They try to paint you as emotionless. It's one of the first tactics they use when they can no longer manipulate your emotions to their advantage. Why? Because they think that if you don't react to their provocations, you must be devoid of feeling. They believe that silence or calmness equals coldness, that when you don't let your emotions spill out, you're somehow less human. But here's the real truth. You are feeling everything, perhaps even more deeply than they could ever understand. The difference is, you're not letting it control you. What they fail to grasp is that true emotional strength lies not in being swept away by every wave of emotion, but in choosing how to respond. Stoicism teaches us this essential lesson. Our emotions are not our masters. They don't define us, and they certainly don't dictate our actions. We, as individuals, have the power to decide when and how to express what we feel. And this is where the beauty of Stoic practice lies. The art of feeling deeply without allowing those feelings to disrupt your inner peace. In a world where emotional outbursts are often rewarded, where the loudest voice seems to claim the most attention, choosing calmness in the face of provocation is a radical act. It's frustrating for those around you because they expect you to mirror their chaos, to get drawn into the drama they create. But when you don't, when you remain centered and calm, it leaves them scrambling. They don't know how to handle it. How can they control someone who refuses to be triggered? In these moments, your tranquility becomes your greatest weapon. It frustrates them, disorients them. They cannot understand why you're not reacting the way they expect you to. They want you to fight back with words, to show anger, sadness, frustration, to give them something to latch onto. But you don't give them that satisfaction. And that, my friends, is power. When you remain calm, you take away their control. They are no longer able to manipulate you through the expected channels of emotional response. They can accuse you of being cold, but deep down, they know the truth. They can't shake your foundation because it's built on something stronger than transient feelings. It's built on the Stoic principles of self-mastery, of understanding that the only control you have is over your own reactions. In this quiet strength, you become the one who holds the power. You show them that emotional control is not a weakness, it is the ultimate strength. They may try to twist the narrative, but your calmness, your composure, will always speak louder than their noise. When they can't get a reaction through their typical tactics, they start to escalate. They begin to provoke you. The subtle shift in their behavior is a deliberate attempt to break your calm, to see if they can push you to the edge. It's no longer about manipulation or undermining you in the shadows. Now, they're testing your limits. Sarcastic remarks, subtle jabs, even direct confrontations are thrown your way in the hopes that you'll lose your composure. They want to see you unravel, to see you flinch, to see that crack in your armor. They want to prove to themselves that they can still shake you. But here's the thing. You don't have to react immediately. This is where Stoicism becomes your shield. The ancient wisdom of the Stoics teaches us that in moments like this, your first instinct should be to pause. Don't give in to the urge to respond in the heat of the moment. Don't let their words or actions dictate how you feel. Instead, take a moment to reflect. Breathe. Let the anger or frustration settle before you act. You're not giving up your right to feel. You're simply choosing when and how to express those feelings. By taking that pause, you regain control of the situation. You regain control of yourself. The provocation they throw your way becomes nothing more than noise. They might think they've hit a nerve, but they haven't. You've already chosen not to let them have that power over you. The best part, they won't know it. They'll keep trying, expecting that eventual crack, that eventual outburst, but it never comes. This is the beauty of Stoic wisdom in action. It's not about suppressing your emotions. It's about understanding that your emotional state doesn't need to be dictated by others. It's about realizing that when someone is pushing your buttons, they're trying to manipulate your energy, trying to make you react in a way that gives them the upper hand. By refusing to play their game, you take away their power, and in that, you hold all the power. The real power isn't in how loudly you react or how intensely you fight back. It's in the ability to remain steady when everything around you is trying to pull you off course. It's in the knowledge that you control your responses, not them. They may provoke, they may push, but you decide whether you will give them your energy, and when you choose not to, they are left with nothing but their own frustration, their own inability to control you, and that, in itself, is victory. When direct manipulation fails, when they can no longer provoke you or control your actions, they turn to a more devious tactic, turning others against you. They know that if they can sow doubt in the minds of those close to you, they can isolate you. They whisper rumors, spread lies, and create a web of suspicion to distort the truth. Suddenly, you find yourself questioning the loyalty of people you once trusted. You feel like an outsider, as if the world is conspiring against you. But here's the crucial point. They only succeed if you let them. The truth, as it has always been, is stronger than any false narrative. Stoic philosophy teaches us to remain patient, to stand firm in our integrity. When others around you are being swayed by these malicious whispers, it can feel like the ground is slipping beneath your feet. But it's important to remember that lies are temporary. They can only thrive as long as they are left unchecked. What truly endures is truth, and truth has an uncanny ability to reveal itself when the time is right. At first, it's difficult. You'll feel the sting of betrayal. You'll wonder why people are doubting you, why they're listening to the rumors. But this is where your inner strength matters most. The Stoic response is not to fight fire with fire, not to lash out in anger or frustration. The Stoic response is to remain calm, to let your actions speak louder than their lies. While they spread deceit, you continue to live your truth, consistently and without hesitation. There's a certain power in being steady, in not reacting to every accusation or rumor. The more you stay true to yourself, the more others will begin to see the truth for themselves. Those who are wise, those who understand the nature of character and integrity, will recognize the lies for what they are. Eventually, the truth always rises to the surface. It's like water. No matter how much dirt you throw into it, it will always find a way to clear itself. The lies may sting, and the isolation may feel unbearable at times, but this is a test of your resilience. Are you going to let the rumors control you, or are you going to trust that your steady actions will outshine their deceit? The Stoic teaches us that consistency and patience in the face of adversity are the true marks of strength. So, while they try to tear you down, you remain rooted in your truth, knowing that eventually, the world will see who you really are. And when that day comes, The people who tried to turn others against you will be left with nothing but their own lies. While you stand unshaken, surrounded by the truth, once their other strategies fail, they turn to relentless testing. It's as if they can't let go, as if your calm, your composure, are things they can't quite comprehend. They begin to provoke you in new ways, asking difficult questions, pushing you into uncomfortable situations, all in the hopes that you'll break. They think they can wear you down, that everyone has a limit, that no one can be unyielding forever. But here's the thing, the more they push, the more they show who they really are, and that, my friends, is something they won't be able to hide for long. The root of their behavior is insecurity, a deep fear that your strength is somehow a reflection of their weakness. They want to see cracks in your armor. They want to catch you off guard, to make you lose your cool. And when they can't do that, they test you again and again, relentlessly. They think that if they push hard enough, they'll force you to falter. But what they don't realize is that every attack only reveals their own vulnerability. They are the ones in need of control, not you. They are the ones who are fragile, not you. In these moments, Stoicism becomes your greatest ally. Stoic philosophy teaches us to remain like a wall, solid, immovable, unyielding. Life will always test us. People will always try to break us down. But the true strength comes in being able to stay calm, no matter the provocation. The Stoic way isn't about responding to every challenge with force or emotion. It's about standing firm in the face of adversity, knowing that nothing external can disturb your inner peace unless you allow it to. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone, and you certainly don't need to react to every jab or attempt to unsettle you. The more they test you, the more they reveal their own weaknesses. Their need to challenge you, to provoke you, comes from a place of insecurity. They're not in control, they're scrambling, trying to find something they can latch onto, something that will make you question yourself. But you, with your steady resolve, know better. You know that their attempts to destabilize you are nothing more than an attempt to make themselves feel better. They want to see you sweat, but you remain calm, collected, unaffected, and that's the real victory. They want to break you, but with every test, every challenge, you only grow stronger in your conviction. You show them that your strength doesn't come from reacting to their antics. It comes from the unshakable belief that you control your emotions, not them. Their insecurity only exposes itself further with every failed attempt to provoke you. You don't need to fight back. You don't need to argue. Just by remaining calm, by standing firm, you win. You are the wall they can't break down, the rock they can't move, the person they will never truly understand. And in that, you are unstoppable. They label you as different, and they do it with the intention of making you feel like there's something wrong with you. They point to your individuality, the way you don't quite fit into the mold they've created, and they twist it into a flaw. When you don't conform to their expectations, when you dare to be yourself in a world that values sameness, they make it seem like you're the one who is out of place. It's a tactic that works on so many people, making them doubt their worth, their choices, their very identity. But here's the truth. Being different isn't a flaw, it's your greatest strength. Stoicism teaches us that our worth isn't determined by the opinions of others. It doesn't matter if they label you as different or try to convince you that you're wrong for being who you are. The Stoic way isn't about fitting in, conforming, or seeking validation from people who can't understand your journey. It's about embracing your individuality without hesitation, without apology. The more you stand firm in your values, in what makes you unique, the more you radiate a quiet strength that others will notice. You see, when you embrace your individuality, you become a beacon of authenticity in a world that often tries to standardize people. In a society that pressures you to be a certain way, to think a certain way, to act a certain way, standing firm in your own beliefs and identity becomes a radical act. And the more you refuse to let their labels define you, the more you inspire others to do the same. It's not about being loud or outspoken. It's about living in a way that shows people that they don't need permission to be themselves. This is where true strength lies, not in following the crowd or fitting into someone else's idea of what you should be, but in owning who you are and walking confidently in that truth. They will try to make you feel like you're wrong for standing out, for being different, for not blending in with the crowd. But you know what? The people who matter, the ones who truly value authenticity, will see your difference for what it is, a source of power. Being different doesn't make you less, it makes you unique. It means you're not afraid to follow your own path, to walk your own journey, even when the world tells you to do otherwise. And that is what will ultimately make you stand out. The more you embrace this difference, the more you set yourself free from the shackles of conformity. And in doing so, you show others that they, too, can live authentically without fear of judgment. You become an example, a testament to the fact that true strength is found in being unapologetically yourself. When all their previous tactics fail, they resort to the most insidious form of manipulation, subtle humiliation. It's not loud or overt, but it's just as damaging. They make passive-aggressive comments, backhanded compliments, or sarcastic remarks, all in an effort to chip away at your self-confidence. They're hoping to catch you off guard, to make you feel small, to make you doubt yourself. The goal is to provoke a reaction, to get under your skin, to trigger that burst of anger that will show them they've succeeded. But what they don't realize is that their words are powerless if you don't let them land. Stoicism teaches us that sometimes the best response is no response at all. It's easy to get caught in their toxic game, to fall into the trap of defending yourself or lashing out in frustration. But when you react, when you engage with their attempts to humiliate you, you give them exactly what they want: control over your emotions. The moment you allow their words to stir you, they win. They've taken your peace, your calm, and turned it into their victory. But the true Stoic response is to maintain composure, to stand tall, to let their attempts at undermining you pass like water off a duck's back. By choosing not to react, You show them that their words have no power over you. This is a level of emotional mastery that can be incredibly difficult to maintain, especially when someone is chipping away at your confidence in such a subtle, underhanded way. It's tempting to lash out, to defend yourself, to prove them wrong, but that only feeds into their gain. The more you remain composed, the more they reveal their own insecurity. They're the ones trying to control you, trying to make you feel small because they themselves feel weak. In these moments, your silence and restraint become your greatest strength. You're not just refusing to engage with them. You're refusing to let their negativity disrupt your peace. You know that no amount of sarcasm, no veiled insult, can truly touch you unless you allow it. And this is where the true power of Stoicism lies. In knowing that you are not defined by the opinions of others, especially when those opinions are laced with malice. Their subtle attempts to humiliate you are a reflection of their own inner turmoil, not a reflection of your worth. And when you choose not to engage, you not only protect your peace, but you also show them that their words are meaningless. You remain unshaken, unfazed, and unmoved by their attempts to rattle you. In doing so, you reclaim your power and remind them that their toxicity has no place in your life. After exhausting every possible tactic to control or undermine you, something unexpected happens. They begin to imitate you. At first, it might seem like a form of mockery, a way of showing they still hold some power over you. But as time passes, the truth becomes clear. They start adopting your behaviors, your mindset, and the way you think. It's a strange twist of fate, but it's not because they want to praise you or acknowledge your strength. No, it's because, deep down, they are envious. They begin to recognize the strength and clarity that comes with living in alignment with your values. And that's something they can't deny. At first, it's subtle. They might borrow phrases you've used, mimic the way you hold yourself, or begin to follow the same principles you've held firm to all along. It's almost as if they've seen the power you wield by staying true to yourself, by refusing to bend under the weight of their attacks. They begin to realize that your calm, your unshakable integrity, isn't weakness. It's a force to be reckoned with, and the more they observe, the more they secretly yearn to have that same inner peace, that same sense of purpose and direction that you've always carried. This imitation is often the highest form of flattery, but it's also the clearest sign that they've lost the battle. After all, if their tactics had worked, if their manipulation had successfully broken you down, they wouldn't need to copy you. They wouldn't need to try to be like you. The fact that they do is a clear admission that they see something in you that they lack, something they're desperate to emulate. They see the power that comes from remaining unaffected by external forces and realize that the only way to regain control is to mirror the one person they could never shake: you. What's fascinating about this is that imitation is often done unconsciously. They don't even realize they're doing it, because it's a natural response to seeing someone who stands firm in their truth. They're so intrigued by your unwavering composure that they begin to mimic the very thing that has made you resilient. It's a quiet form of admiration. even if they never admit it. In the end, their actions betray the fact that they were never as confident or strong as you were in the first place. As frustrating as it can be to see someone who once tried to undermine you now trying to be like you, remember that imitation is a powerful acknowledgement of your strength. They are trying to take from you what they couldn't break, what they couldn't control, and this is where you realize the true power of staying true to your values. Not only do you rise above their attempts to manipulate you, but you also inspire them to follow your example. You remain unaffected, and in doing so, you become the standard they can't help but try to live up to. The more they try to control you, the more they reveal their own weaknesses. You see, their attempts to manipulate, provoke, and discredit you come from a place of insecurity. It's not about you. It's about their inability to handle the strength and independence you embody. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. By living according to your principles, by staying true to yourself, you become a living example of what it means to be unshaken, unyielding, and unwavering in a world that constantly throws distractions your way. Stoicism offers us the key to remaining unshaken in a world that is always trying to pull us in different directions. It teaches us that we have control over one thing and one thing only, our own reactions. Everything outside of us, the manipulations, the insults, the doubts, are out of our control. But what we can control is how we respond, and the most powerful response is one of calm, of stillness, of choosing not to engage with negativity. The more you live in alignment with your values, the more you remain grounded, the more you become a source of inspiration for others. And here's the thing, the ultimate victory is not in defeating others, but in maintaining your inner peace and staying true to who you are. When you remain calm amidst chaos, when you choose your peace over their drama, you win, not just for yourself, but for everyone who witnesses it. You show them that strength is not about reacting to every jab or insult, but in living your truth without being swayed by the world's noise. It's about embracing your freedom, shedding the need for approval, and living unapologetically. So, now that you've learned how to handle these attacks, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. How can you incorporate Stoic principles into your life? Think about where you've allowed others to pull you out of your center, where you've given in to the pressure to conform, to react, to defend yourself. Let go of the need for external validation. Embrace the freedom that comes with knowing who you are and standing firm in that truth. When you make this shift, you'll begin to notice a change not only within yourself but in the way the world responds to you. People will start to gravitate toward your energy. They will be drawn to your calm, your confidence, your resilience, and while they may try to knock you down, they'll quickly realize that your foundation is too solid to be moved. So, take the first step today. Embrace Stoicism. Let go of the need to seek approval. Live freely. Stay true to yourself, and watch as the world tries to catch up with you. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into living a strong, resilient, and peaceful life. Stay free, stay stoic,